You might think it's just a lipstick, just a harmless swipe of color across your lips, a simple beauty ritual you've done 1,000 times. But today, something feels different. You're not 20 anymore or even 50. Your skin has changed, subtly, stubbornly, and you can see it now, staring back at you in the mirror. What if this little tube of color could tell you more than just what shade suits you? What if it could whisper clues about your health, your hydration, your vitality? In today's challenge, we invite you to do something bold, something revealing. Try a cool-toned lipstick, yes, even that icy plum or berry you've been avoiding, and just watch. Because sometimes, the mirror reflects more than beauty, it reflects truth, and what you see might surprise you. So stay with us, and let's discover what your skin is really saying. Have you ever stood in front of the mirror, holding a new lipstick, perhaps a cool tone shade like berry or mauve, wondered why it just doesn't look the same on you as it used to? You apply it with the same care, the same gentle touch, the same hopeful curiosity, yet something is different. The color feels harsh. Your skin looks duller, almost gray, and the vibrancy you remember from years ago just isn't there anymore. For a moment, you might think it's just about beauty, about aging, about a color that no longer suits. But what if it's more than that? What if that small stick of lipstick is revealing something far deeper? Something about your health that no one, no doctor, no ad, no friend has ever told you to look for? What if your skin's reaction to a simple cosmetic is actually your body whispering a hidden truth? Because here's the remarkable and often overlooked reality. As we age, our skin becomes more than just the outer shell we care for. It becomes a living diary of our body's internal struggles and silent deficiencies. When you hit 60 and beyond, your skin doesn't just lose elasticity or wrinkle light begins to react differently to products. That reaction is not merely cosmetic, it is diagnostic. When a cool tone lipstick suddenly makes your face look drained or emphasizes shadows and discoloration you never noticed before, that isn't bad lighting or just the wrong shade. It's a potential sign that your blood circulation isn't what it used to be. That perhaps your red blood cells are fewer, slower, and less able to oxygenate your tissues. That maybe your liver isn't detoxifying properly, leading to pigmentation, or that your body lacks essential nutrients like vitamins, B2, B12, and nutrients, crucial for skin tone, healing, and brightness. Let's take a closer look. Cool tone lipsticks colors with a blue or purple undertone interact very differently with mature skin. In youth, these colors create contrast, vibrancy, a bold pop against warm, lively skin. But after 60, if your skin is pale from anemia or has taken on a sallow cast due to liver fatigue or dehydration, that same lipstick can suddenly make you look ghostly, even sick. The lips may seem dry, the skin lifeless, the eyes sunken. And yet ironically, this negative cosmetic effect becomes a positive health indicator. It alerts you. It urges you to investigate. It becomes a mirror not just for your beauty, but for your biology. And perhaps for the first time, you realize that a lipstick test might be worth more than a blood test, because it shows what the blood can't always say. How you feel, how you appear, how you carry the signs of decline on your face long before a diagnosis confirms it. Now imagine this scene, which is all too real for many. An older woman sits at her vanity, applying a beloved color she once wore to parties in her 30s. But now, instead of joy, the image staring back is tired and foreign. She assumes it's vanity. She wipes it off, sighs, and moves on. But what if she had paused and asked, why is this color draining my face today? What has changed not just on the outside, but within? Perhaps it would lead her to check her hydration, to recall if she's eaten enough greens, if she's been exposed to enough sunlight for vitamin D, if her medications are affecting her skin tone, or even if her kidneys are functioning well. It could be the first sign she notices before a more serious symptom appears. That simple moment of recognition might encourage her to schedule a checkup, take a multivitamin, or even just drink more water. And in doing so, she may catch a problem early, something that silently erodes health beneath the surface of routine. This is where it becomes powerful, even life-changing, because when people hear skin health, they think of creams and collagen. But what they often miss is that skin, especially in the elderly, becomes a reflection of the inside. Poor skin reaction to cool colors might signal systemic inflammation, oxidative stress, or poor detoxification, all major contributors to chronic diseases. Even the texture of your lips, how they hold pigment, or how quickly they chap, tells a story about gut health, hormonal balance, and immunity. The body is holistic, and the skin is your canvas. And yet, society brushes this aside. It says aging skin is simply less attractive, less vibrant, less marketable. But in truth, aging skin is more honest. It no longer hides the impact of sleepless nights, skipped meals, or silent diseases. And that honesty, while uncomfortable, is incredibly valuable. It's a warning sign wrapped in a wrinkle, a message delivered through a lipstick line. You don't need fancy diagnostic machines to know when your body is underperforming. Sometimes all you need is a mirror, a new lipstick, and the courage to notice. So next time you try a lipstick and feel shocked by what you see, don't rush to judgment. Don't say, "I'm too old for this." Instead, say, "What is my skin trying to tell me?" Let that moment become an invitation to listen, to check in, to take care. You may discover that your body has been speaking softly for years, but only now through a color that once brought joy it finally has your attention. And if you feel overwhelmed, don't be. This awareness is not meant to create fear, but to empower. Because once you understand what your skin's reaction means, you can act. You can nourish your body, hydrate your cells, massage your face to improve circulation, get some fresh air, stretch your muscles, and bring life back to where it has faded. You can revive your glow not just with makeup, but with meaning. And that lipstick, you can try it again in a month. If your skin lights up, you'll know progress has begun. You are not invisible. You are not fading. You are transforming, and your skin, more than ever, is your greatest guide. Let it speak, let it shine. Let it remind you that every color you wear is not just about fashion, it is about function. And sometimes it's the lipstick that tells you the truth your body has long been whispering. And now, let's lean even closer to that mirror. Take another look, not just at the color on your lips, but at how your face reacts around it. Do your cheeks seem paler than usual? Are the lines around your mouth more pronounced than you remember? Does your skin appear uneven, slightly gray, maybe even a bit lifeless? These aren't just matters of aesthetics. They are physiological changes that happen silently, gradually, often without warning, until one day, a simple, cool-tone lipstick reveals them all at once, like a spotlight cast over a hidden stage. The truth is, your body has been changing for years, but you rarely see it so clearly until you put a dramatic color on your lips. Suddenly, the contrast between the vibrancy of the lipstick and the diminished tone of your skin becomes stark, sometimes even startling. And that contrast isn't just about skincare, it's about circulation. It's about the oxygen in your blood, or rather, the lack of it. It's about your red blood cells, the tiny messengers that carry life to every tissue, now moving more sluggishly through narrow capillaries and thinning vessels that no longer deliver vitality the way they once did. Cool tone lipsticks, those with bluish undertones like plum, violet, or deep rose have always been bold, but they also rely on one important thing to look beautiful: a healthy background canvas. In youth, our skin glows with pinkish undertones thanks to rich circulation and abundant collagen. Blood flows close to the surface, giving a natural blush that makes those lipsticks pop with elegance. But over time, that undertone fades. Not just because of age, but because of decreased microcirculation, reduced estrogen, sun exposure, and invisible inflammatory processes that rob the skin of its warmth. So when that lipstick suddenly looks too dark or too harsh or even makes you appear older, don't blame the color. It's doing what it's always done. Instead, ask, what has changed beneath the surface of my skin? Could it be that your capillaries have thinned with age? That your blood isn't carrying enough oxygen due to low iron or B12? Could you be mildly anemic without knowing it, suffering from fatigue, cold hands, or brittle nail signs you've brushed off as normal aging? It gets deeper. If you've ever noticed how the area under your eyes seems more hollow or discolored after using a vibrant lipstick, that's not makeup's fault either. That's the thinning of the subcutaneous fat layer, the very cushion that once made your face look full and radiant. As we age, especially after 60, that layer shrinks. Combined with slower blood flow and weaker capillary walls, your face may begin to show the purple, blue, or gray tinge of underlying veins, something the wrong lipstick only highlights. Again, the message is clear. This isn't about vanity. It's about visibility. Your skin is giving you signals that should not be ignored. And let's not forget melanin, the natural pigment that gives our skin color and protects us from sun damage. Over time, melanin production becomes erratic. Some areas produce too much, leading to age spots, while others produce too little, leaving pale patches that absorb and reflect lipstick tones in unpredictable ways. When you wear a cool-toned lipstick, those inconsistencies suddenly become magnified. You may look washed out in one area, overly dark in another, but again, this isn't just about uneven makeup. It's about cellular aging, oxidative stress, and the accumulation of damage from decades of sun, pollution, stress, and toxins. The cruel irony, the very features that once lit up your face, the glow, the color, the warmth, are now the most vulnerable to disappearing silently. And cool tone lipstick, meant to energize and empower, now serves as a truth serum, revealing exactly how far the body has retreated from its youthful vitality. But recognizing that doesn't have to be painful. In fact, it can be liberating, because once you see it, once you understand what's really happening, you gain the power to take it back. Let's make it practical. If a lipstick suddenly makes your skin look dull, it's time to boost circulation. Walk every morning, even for just 15 minutes. It helps more than any facial cream. Hydrate Teddy Hydration is the #1 cause of dry, tired-looking skin. Review your blood work. Are your iron, B12, and folate levels healthy? Are your liver enzymes normal? Have you checked for chronic inflammation? Every change you see on your face has a twin inside your body. Don't dismiss it, decode it. And here's the part most people overlook. Your face and your lipstick are in a relationship. When your body is thriving, lipstick becomes a tool of celebration. When your body is struggling, that same lipstick becomes a warning light. It tells you where you've neglected care. It tells you when you need rest, nutrients, even emotional release. The reason cool tone lipstick suddenly clashes isn't because you've adjusted, it's because your canvas has changed. And it's trying to tell you how to care for it now in this new chapter of life. So let's shift perspective. You aren't too old for lipstick. In fact, you're at the perfect age to use lipstick as a guide. You've earned the wisdom to look beyond surface beauty. You've lived long enough to understand that the face is not just an ornament, it's a map. And every color you apply either brings you closer to balance or exposes the distance still left to travel. Next time you pick up that lipstick, don't just look for style, look for symptoms. Is your skin tone even? Do your lips absorb moisture well? Do your cheeks support the color with warmth? Or do they retreat from it like winter from spring? Every answer is a clue. And those clues, when taken seriously, could be the very thing that saves your health, your energy, your confidence, and your ability to remain vibrant and self-sufficient for decades more. This is the new way of aging. Aware, empowered, observant. Gone are the days of ignoring signs because we're just getting old. Aging isn't the problem unseen decline is, but when your mirror becomes your medical ally, when your lipstick becomes your health barometer, you step into a new kind of power. One that says, I see myself. I listen to my body. I use beauty as a form of awareness, not illusion. And to think it all began with one color, one reflection, and one moment of curiosity. And now, as you hold that lipstick in your hand, perhaps hesitant to bring it once more to your lips, consider this. What if the issue isn't the product, but the foundation? It's resting on your skin, your health, your habits. What if the problem isn't the mirror, but the weeks, the months, the years leading up to this moment, where self-care quietly slipped behind responsibilities, behind routine, behind fatigue and forgetfulness? Your skin is not just a cosmetic surface. It's a living reflection of how you've treated your body from the inside out. And now, under the cold truth of this lipstick test, it's telling a story of neglected hydration, nutrient gaps, poor sleep, and unspoken emotional weight toll, the things that don't show up in blood tests, but live in the tissues just beneath your skin. Look again at the way your skin holds or fails to hold moisture. If your lips crack minutes after applying lipstick, if your foundation cakes, no matter how gentle your touch, if your cheeks feel rough to your fingers, that's not just dryness. That's chronic dehydration, not just of the skin, but of your entire body. As we age, our sense of thirst diminishes. We simply forget to drink, or worse, we avoid it to reduce bathroom trips. But the price of that avoidance is paid in dull, lifeless skin that no color can save. The elasticity fades. The glow disappears. The lips shrivel under pigment because the cells themselves are thirsty, crying out for water, for electrolytes, for fruit, for broth, for care. And then there's food, the quiet sculptor of the face. The skin doesn't lie about what you eat. You can't fake the result of months of convenience meals, skipped breakfast, too much salt, too much sugar. When the lipstick goes on and your skin looks blotchy, waxy, or discolored, it may be because the liver is tired, sluggish from processing processed foods, alcohol, or a lack of leafy greens. When you apply blush but see only hollowness where fullness once lived, it may be a sign of muscle loss and undernourishment. You see, your face doesn't forget. It remembers everything you've consumed or failed to consume, and it stores that memory in your jawline, your eyelids, your lips. It's no coincidence that skin starts to look older when meals become rushed and nutrients become rare. But this isn't about guilt, it's about power. Because the truth hidden in that lipstick's betrayal is also a chance to reclaim your well-being. When you nourish your body, really nourish it with protein, omega-3s, vitamin C, leafy greens, nuts, seeds, and water, your skin responds like a flower in sunlight. Suddenly, that same lipstick that once exposed flaws now amplifies radiance. The lips are fuller, the skin richer. The contrast that once aged you now energizes you. The transformation isn't in the tube, it's in you. And it starts not with makeup, but with morning habits, kitchen choices, and bedtime rituals. Think about it. Have you been eating real meals or just grazing through the day? Do your breakfasts fuel you, or are they an afterthought? Is your dinner a quiet ritual or a rushed fix before sleep? Because when food is mindless, the body suffers in silence. And the face tells on you. A face that is nourished carries the colors of life. A face that is deprived reflects it with harsh shadows and sagging edges. It's no surprise that the older we get, the more sensitive our appearance becomes to what we consume. The stakes are higher now. There is less collagen to buffer, fewer antioxidants in reserve, and lipstick, bless its honesty, will always point out the truth. And what about rest? When was the last time you truly slept? Well, not just hours on the clock, but deep, healing rest that restores your cells. Sleep isn't just for energy, it's for repair. It's during sleep that the body produces collagen, balances hormones, detoxifies the liver, and resets the nervous system. A tired face cannot carry color gracefully. A sleep-deprived body cannot reflect youth, no matter how elegant the lipstick. You can apply the finest shade, but if you've had nights of broken sleep, of restless turning, of late-night worry, that lipstick becomes a spotlight on fatigue. The eyes sag, the lips lose color, the face sinks. Again, the color doesn't lead, just shines a light on what's hidden. But here's the silver lining, the beautiful truth hidden beneath this mirror of concern. Your body is still listening. It is still capable of change. The skin is an organ of reflection and response. Improve your habits, even slightly, and it responds sometimes in days. Add half a liter of water daily and feel your lips smooth out. Include 1 green salad a day and watch your cheeks regain color. Get 7 full hours of sleep and notice the shadow soften beneath your eyes. And then only then try that lipstick again. Look at how different you appear. The very same shade now lifts your face instead of dragging it down. It was never the lipstick. It was your biological readiness to wear it. And don't forget the power of stress. Chronic, hidden, gnawing stress ages the face faster than any sunbeam or cigarette ever could. It tightens the jaw, hollows the temples, draws lines where joy should have lived. It ruins digestion, which in turn ruins skin. It eats nutrients. It hijacks hormones. And worst of all, it becomes normal-y. Stop noticing it. But your skin doesn't stop. Your lips don't stop. That lipstick, again, becomes the whistleblower. The day it stops flattering you is the day your body begs for help. Not with another product, but with peace, with joy, with stillness. And the kind of laughter that releases tension from your chest and shoulders like warm light. So take this test seriously. Use your reflection as a diagnostic tool, not a judgment. You are not too old to glow. You are not too late to heal. Your skin is not beyond repair. It is responsive, faithful, and willing to bounce back if you treat it with kindness. This lipstick challenge, it's not just about beauty. It's a health screening disguised as a cosmetic ritual. It tells you whether you've nourished or neglected, and it gives you the rare chance to begin again. Start today, not with a shopping trip, but with a glass of water. Not with another face cream, but with a bowl of berries. Not with resignation, but with a promise. To eat with purpose, rest with respect, and treat your body as a sacred garden worth tending. Because when you do, the rewards come not just in how your lipstick looks, but in how you feel, how you move, how you smile, without thinking twice. Your skin will change, your reflection will change, and most importantly, you will begin to feel like yourself again, not the tired, muted version, but the vibrant, curious, and radiant person you've always been beneath the surface. And just imagine, the next time you pick up that same lipstick, it won't be to test your skin, but to celebrate it. But just as your skin whispers secrets about your inner health, there's another messenger quieter, more elusive, and far more dangerous if ignored. It's your hands. That simple moment of unscrewing the lipstick cap, steadying your fingers, aiming the color toward your lips, holding the mirror at just the right angle once happened without thought. A dance of precision and elegance you perform daily, effortlessly. But lately, the line is crooked, your grip trembles, the cap drops. The lipstick smudges across your lip, and suddenly you freeze. Embarrassed, confused, maybe even a little afraid. This isn't just clumsiness. This is your body trying to tell you something's wrong. Because aging doesn't always scream, it often murmurs. And shaky hands, stiff fingers, trouble focusing your eyes as you lean in closer to the mirror, these are not insignificant. These are early signs, perhaps of neuropathy, or the beginning stages of Parkinson's, or subtle deficits in your central nervous system that are slowly chipping away at your autonomy. Maybe it's your cerebellum, that small part of your brain that controls coordination, starting to slip out of sync. Maybe your optic nerve isn't relaying the crispness of lines and contours like it used to. Maybe your fine motor skills are being hijacked by age, but not natural age, accelerated, silent, undetected decline. And yet, in this vulnerable moment, there lies a gift. Because you see, applying lipstick isn't just vanity. For someone over 60, it's a neurological exam disguised as a beauty ritual. Can you trace your lip line confidently? Can you twist the tube open without hesitation? Can you feel the creamy glide across your mouth, or do you notice numbness, tingling, unfamiliar textures? What used to be a simple act has now become an early warning system, a chance to catch the invisible erosion of control before it takes something more. There's something hauntingly honest about watching your own hand betray you. It doesn't lie, it doesn't negotiate, it simply stumbles. But this doesn't mean you're losing your dignity, it means you're being shown, gently but clearly, where your attention must now go. The small tremble of your hand is not an insult, it's a diagnostic pulse beating just beneath your awareness. It asks, are you getting enough magnesium? Enough vitamin D? Are your nerves protected with omega-3s and antioxidants? Are you stretching, walking, breathing, resting your eyes from screens and strain? Or are you slipping bit by bit into the numb decline that steals independence slowly, like dusk swallowing daylight? Envisiono how cruel time can be to the eyes. You lean in closer to the mirror. The lines are blurry. The colors aren't as vivid. That lipstick that once stood out boldly now fades into your skin. You squint, you blink, you adjust the lighting. Still, something's off. You might blame the lighting, the room, the mirror itself, but it could be macular degeneration, cataracts, or reduced tear production slowly stealing clarity from your world. And all this revealed not in a doctor's office, but in the simple, intimate act of trying to paint your lips. You may not even notice the changes until they compound. You might first miss a spot of lipstick, then overline too far, then give up altogether. But before you do, before you let that tube roll into a drawer forever, pause. Ask yourself, what else am I struggling to do with my hands? Buttoning shirts? Writing? Holding a fork steady? What else am I squinting at, pretending not to notice? These aren't just nuisances. These are early signs. Your nervous system is asking for help. Your dexterity is data. And if caught early, these signs can lead to interventions that preserve your independence not just for months, but for years. Let's make it concrete. If your hand shakes when applying lipstick, try writing. Does your signature wobble? Time it, measure it, note the difference week by week. If your hand cramps when gripping the lipstick tube, test your grip strength with a kitchen jar. If your eyes blur when looking at the mirror, test them with a book. Don't panic, but don't dismiss these changes either. Document them, respect them, respond to them. Because while they seem small today, they could become walls tomorrow. But here's the hope, the joy, the possibility still within your reach, your brain, your nerves, your hands. They are plastic. They can change, they can improve. With practice, with nutrients, with movement, with attention, hand exercises, tai chi, gentle stretching, brain games, music, even painting all can restore function. And yes, even makeup. In fact, applying lipstick daily can become a form of occupational therapy, strengthening eye-hand coordination, restoring confidence, slowing decline. Every line you draw on your lips is a line drawn against helplessness. You're not helpless, you're not broken, you're being warned, and if you listen, you can act. You can train your fingers, strengthen your grip, hydrate your joints, rest your eyes, heal your nerves. The body wants to help you, but it needs your cooperation. And it starts here, with a simple tube of lipstick and a brave heart willing to notice the tremble, not hide from it. And in doing so, you do more than preserve beauty. You preserve autonomy. You extend the years where you can feed yourself, dress yourself, live without a cane or wheelchair. You gift yourself time, and not just time to live, but time to thrive, to feel radiant, to take pleasure in the small acts that make life feel full. All because you chose to take a cosmetic struggle seriously. So don't stop applying lipstick. Don't stop holding the mirror. Instead, hold it closer. Watch your hands, watch your eyes, measure your steadiness. Notice the details. And if something seems off, get help early, proactively, boldly. There is no shame in the tremble. There is only danger in ignoring it. Because the difference between decline and resilience is awareness. And the difference between a cosmetic inconvenience and a life-changing diagnosis is how soon you choose to see what your body has already shown you. So apply that lipstick again, not just for the color, but for the clarity. You're not just painting your lips, you're reading your own body. And that, dear viewer, is a kind of wisdom and strength no youth could ever understand. And now, here you are perhaps still holding that lipstick, or at least the memory of what it felt like to try something bold again. But this moment, this quiet reflection in front of the mirror, is about to turn into something much greater. Because what no one tells you, what no commercial, no magazine, no polite conversation at the pharmacy will say, is that the very act of trying something new in old age is a radical form of self-preservation. It's not about vanity. It's not about chasing youth. It's about proving to yourself that you're still evolving, that the flame inside hasn't gone out just because time has crept across your skin. Let's talk about that first moment, the second you uncapped a cool tone lipstick, perhaps one you never would have dared in your 40s, let alone your 60s. You paused. You looked at the unfamiliar color. It looked defiant, even a little dangerous, not because of what it would do to your lips, but because of what it might awaken in you. A thought, what if I'm still allowed to experiment? What if I'm not done discovering myself? That thought alone dangerous, exhilaratinges, the spark of youth rekindled, and that spark, that's what keeps people alive longer, fuller, freer. Not supplements, not pills, not even medical charts. It's that flicker of curiosity, of daring, of not letting the world define you by your birth certificate. That flicker can become a fire if you let it. You see, something powerful happens when you allow yourself to try. When you go against the voice in your head that says that color is for younger women, or people will laugh, or what's the point at my age? Because in defying that voice, you're not just choosing a lipstick, you're choosing yourself. You're choosing to remain curious. You're choosing to remain open, and openness is one of the greatest predictors of mental agility and emotional resilience in old age. It doesn't matter if the lipstick suits you. What matters is that you stepped outside the box others tried to lock you in. That act alone defies stagnation. It sends a message to your brain: we are still alive. We are still trying. We are not done growing. And do you know what happens when your brain hears that? It rewires. It lights up. It produces dopamine, the chemical of joy and anticipation. Your neurons remember what it means to be awake to life. You begin to crave more. A different lipstick, a new blouse, a walk down a street you haven't visited in years, a recipe you haven't cooked since your 20s. And just like that, you've created momentum. You've opened a door inside yourself, one that leads to color, to texture, to stimulation, all because you did something that most people your age have been conditioned to believe is silly or unnecessary. And the tragedy is, they believe it. They stop trying. They sit back, not because their bodies demand rest, but because their minds were tricked into resignation. But not you, not today, not after what you've realized. Because what if this moment, the one with the lipstick, was never about beauty, but about permission? Permission to re-enter your life as a participant, to stop watching from the sidelines, to stop telling yourself you're too old, too tired, too invisible. That's the real poison we're fed in old Agenot, the wrinkles. Not the slowing steps, but the lie that our time to matter has passed, that we've had our shot, that our role now is to step back, dim down, fade quietly, but you, standing there with a bold lipstick and a racing heart, you've just declared war on that lie. You've just said, I'm still here, and I'm not done yet. And don't you see? The world needs more of that. It needs more older women who dare to wear bright lipstick, not to impress, not to seduce, but to remind everyone watching, especially the younger ones, that aging isn't retreat, it's reinvention. That curiosity doesn't retire. That transformation doesn't come with an expiration date. There's a reason the elderly who engage in creative self-expression through makeup, dance, gardening, fashion, painting, singing live longer, feel happier, and report greater satisfaction. It's not magic, it's motion, it's energy, it's saying yes to life instead of bracing for decline. And that lipstick, it's your instrument, your small, mighty protest against becoming invisible. Your badge that says, I still wonder, I still care, I still play. You may not know this, but neuropsychologists have studied the brains of seniors who regularly engage in creative risk-taking. The results are astounding. Those who explore new colors, styles, textures, even foods, show slower cognitive decline, greater emotional regulation, and improved immune response. In other words, that lipstick isn't a toy, it's a tool. It's medicine dressed as makeup, and it doesn't even have to stay on. Just the act of applying it, of observing how you feel, how your body reacts, how your mind resists, and then surrenders, that is therapy. That is neuroplasticity in motion. But above all, it is courage, because no one tells you how brave it is to keep trying in a world that expects you to stop. No one applauds the woman who dares to wear violet at 70, or the man who puts on a patterned scarf in his 80s. But those acts, they're sacred, they're revolutionary, and they create a ripple effect. They give permission to others who are watching you, to your neighbor, to your granddaughter, to that stranger at the cafe who sees you and thinks, maybe I can be like her when I'm older. So wear that lipstick proudly. Try new things shamelessly. And when someone raises an eyebrow or worse, offers pity, look them in the eye and smile, not just with your mouth, but with your whole self. Because you know the truth now. You know that growing older doesn't mean shrinking your world. It means expanding it, deeper and wider than ever before. And when you put that lipstick away, don't put the spirit of adventure away with it. Let it stay. Let it echo in your day. Let it inspire the next small risk, the next curious step, the next decision to choose joy over fear, curiosity over comfort, self-expression over silence. That's how you keep your soul young. That's how you remind your body that you still need it strong. That's how you defy aging, not with creams or pills, but with will, with wonder, with color. And tomorrow, try a new shade. Because in the end, this wasn't about lipstick. It was about waking something up inside you, the part that still wants to explore, to feel alive, to look in the mirror and see not just age, but possibility. You've learned to read your body in new ways, to listen with fresh eyes and open hands. Now, we want to hear from you. What did your lipstick reveal? Did your skin react? Did your hands tremble? Or did your heart race with excitement at trying something new? Leave us a comment below. Share your moment, your reflection, your courage. And if this video stirred something in you, give it a like, send it to someone you love, and most of all, subscribe. Because this isn't the end. It's the beginning of a new chapter where every color, every choice, every challenge becomes a way to live boldly, even beautifully, after 60.